Hello and welcome back to Suspended Fanimation. I'm your host, Dennis Bithoulkas, and it's time for Station 11, Season 1, Episodes 4 and 5. They have titles to them, but honestly, I believe title for episode 5 is The Last Cinnabon on Earth. So, yeah. Before I get started, let me take care of some business and we'll get down to it. If you like what you see here, like, share, and subscribe. If you're still on the fence about subscribing, take a look at the video that pops up at the very end here. YouTube takes the algorithms of all the stuff you've been watching and tries to match it as best as possible to one of the videos in my fast video library and pops it up there just for you. And if you like what you see there, hit that subscribe button down below there. And also, if you can, hit that like button, the share button as well. And if you don't want to know when I'm going to be on live again next, you hit that bell down below because then YouTube won't send you a notification of when I come on live. So what you should do is if you do want to know when I'm going to be coming on live, go over to suspendedfanimation.com. Take a look at the schedule I have up there. I change it out every week. Yes, I'm an hour late today, mitigating circumstances on some stuff. It's the holidays, man. There's a lot of stuff going on. So that's what ends up happening. But I'm mostly on time. There's also links to my social media there and links to my pages as well. So, with that said, spoiler alert, I am going to spoil the episodes. If you have not seen them, go and watch them. Come on back. This will be a video you can comment down below in the comment section. Going once, going twice, going 3 times. Sold. Sold to the Lori Petty lookalike in the back row. All right. So before we get started here on this, I still don't know where the fuck this thing is going, quite honestly, or what this story is supposed to be about, to tell you the truth. I don't know if it knows what it's going to be about. And I'm seeing a strange progression of these same kind of shows all on HBO Max. So, Watchmen being one of them, Westworld. Westworld also has this where the fuck are they going kind of quality to it, Raised by Wolves. Um, and now this show as well. And it's this, what the fuck kind of quality? What is going on? Are we in support of some of these characters? Are we not? Or do we like any of these characters? Um, and that's kind of uh it's kind of telling for HBO Max for their programming people or their programming person, the head of programming, that they are selecting these shows specifically and for their big tentpole shows. I don't know if Station 11 considers a big tentpole show, but still. Um, and it's just kind of worrying that that's where this is kind of heading. I want a little more structure to my shows a little bit so that I have either someone to root for or someone to root against kind of thing, and why this is happening rather than just because, you know, just because that's going to happen. And yeah. So anyway, with that said, episode 4 is more about grown-up Tyler and what he is doing as a prophet, or the prophet, if you will. And we get a little bit more into that. And then episode 5 is more of how Tyler came to be this way, um, from the very first day of the pandemic, is what we've got going on there. And so with Philip A. Demick says, "Where's the source material for this show? Is it an original? No, it's a novel, actually, Philip. So it came from a novel. Emily St. John. I can't remember her last name. It's fairly long. Yeah, look it up there. It's Emily St. John something or other. So, so yeah, she wrote a novel, and that's what this is based off of. Um, So, and I guess it's revolving around this comic book, or this. It's not even really a comic book. It's more of a book that really shouldn't have gone into the hands of children. Quite honestly, the author of it, I'm just moved off of my IMDb page there. Miranda really should not have given this to children, or even suggested it was given to children, because obviously it's fucked up two different children at least at this point, and we know there are other copies out there because she had made more copies. Obviously, she even alluded to this in the third episode. So, um, so in the fourth episode, we find out that Tyler is basically not abducting children. He's brainwashing children into coming with him and joining his group. This is not unlike every other radical group that has weaponized children in the past, whether they be religious or ideological, anything like that. You basically, he's taking children, brainwashing them, and to forget about the past, that the past does not exist pre-pandemic, kind of thing. And um, that's what he's trying to promote here. And David Cross makes an appearance in this episode, and spoiler alert, he dies. So yeah, his adopted grandchildren, I guess it is, have landmines strapped to their bodies, and they hug him. They come in at different sides and hug him, and they all explode. So all three of them explode. And these are landmines that they had planted out in their field to basically hold the prophet off. And yeah, they just seem like a really wacky bunch of people that were out in the middle of nowhere and not really thinking about their own safety and security. And yeah, it was bad news all the way around. The only one, of course, who is kind of, aware of all of this is Kirsten. And she essentially is spouting the same stuff that Tyler is, but in a much more subdued manner, because she's read the same book, and so she knows what he's thinking of. They have the same ideological, machinations, if you will. Just she's going about it differently than he is. She's, doing Shakespeare along the wheel, and yeah. And by the way, yes, I am. It's Sherry, by the way. So cheers. I figured it deserved it at this point. Um, so we get a little bit more Lori Petty in this as well, which I enjoyed. Finding out more about her character. Um, and yeah, I mean, I just want a little bit more of this world. What's going on? Again, we didn't jump too much this time in the time frame. We get a little bit of Kirsten and Javon when they were in year one, living out in the woods someplace outside of Chicago. So initially, I thought it was New York City, by the way. So it's not. It's actually Chicago is where they were at. Cheers, Philip. Um, so yeah, they now it makes sense why she had to walk across one of the Great Lakes. When it was frozen. I didn't understand that at first. I was like, how did she do that from New York? Did they go all the way over? No, they were in Chicago, and then yeah, okay. I must have missed that. But anyway, I digress. Not too much jumping around in the time frame. And then, of course, in episode 5, we just take place in this one, airport in bumfuck Egypt. It's basically in the middle of nowhere, and that's where their plane lands with they being Tyler, young Tyler, his mother, Elizabeth, and Clark. Um, and we also get to see so the guy who has been inviting the symphony in order to the players, the actors, and all that stuff to the history of man. We get to see him in the past at the pandemic as it starts, and he is Elizabeth's agent or boyfriend. We don't know exactly what, and he's Italian, and supposedly, um, and he has hair at that point too, which was kind of funny. And he actually ends up taking off from the airport with a custodian who's posing as a Homeland Security agent who wants to take people of value with him. Um, Long story. That actually made a much more sense, quite honestly, than some of the other stuff. But anyway, we see that Tyler is in a manipulative little shit from the very beginning. And basically, he is getting children to talk to their dead parents or dead friends, dead siblings, that kind of stuff, through their the headphones in the tower, which everything can be heard on the radios. So everyone hears what they're talking about and all this stuff, except for Tyler. Tyler wouldn't do it until Clark ends up getting him to do it and opening up, or so he thinks. But really, what Tyler is doing is he's manipulating Clark. He's manipulating Elizabeth. He's manipulating Miles, who is one of the guys who worked at the airport and then quit like hours after the pandemic happened, into infighting of what's going on there. And it all culminates with him burning a small jet that's on the runway that had infected people in it that died on the runway because they wouldn't let them out. And pretending that he was in there so that his mother and Clark would not go looking for him. So that's how manipulative of a little shit that he is. So yeah, like I said, I'm finding trouble rooting for anybody at this point on any of this. I'm kind of just wanting the epidemic to win. And I don't know if that's the case, if that's what we're supposed to be doing, if we're supposed to be rooting for that or not. But yeah, I'm finding it hard to find a reason for this show being. Um, and yes, I know there are what is it? There are 10 episodes in this season. Yes, there are 10 episodes in this season. So they're doing 2 a week, and then they're going to culminate with one more at the end. So they did 3 to begin with. So 2, right? 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Yes, and 10. There we go. So 3 weeks of 2 episodes, and then the final week will be a single episode. And the most likely series finale is what I'm thinking is going to happen. I really don't know if this is going to go past a second season unless something picks up here, unless there's something of relevance that's happening here. Um, if we're having something more than just I don't know, an ideological war of past versus present, and old versus young. I really don't know where they're going with it, quite honestly. I haven't read the book. I don't know if there's people out there that have read the book. If you have, chime in the chat or the comments, or just let us know what's going on there a little bit. I don't mind you spoiling it, quite honestly. So I'm almost this close to giving it up at this point, but I'll go the next 2 episodes, and then if it really just pisses me off, then yeah, I'll be done with it. So, with that said, yeah, not the most compelling TV right now. I'm glad there was Young Justice. There's a new episode of Young Justice and a new episode of Genlock as well this today, because those are my palette cleansers to kind of clear that out. Yeah. So, with that said, what else do I have going on this week? Well, tomorrow is a double header. It's the season finale of The Wheel of Time, and then it's going to be The Expanse, episode 3 of The Expanse. We're halfway through the final season of The Expanse. That's right. Christmas Day, I'm not doing anything. Neither are you. You guys are going to be, eating food, drinking, doing whatever, or just sitting at home naked in front of the TV. I don't know. Whatever you guys want to do, whatever floats your boat. Sunday will be another episode of Spoiler Alert, basically where we're going to talk about anything that's spoiler. You can spoil anything you want as long as it is out in the public and no sneak previews or anything like that. So, and then of course I am going to do the Matrix Resurrections, Erections, whatever. Next week, I'll put out the schedule for next week, probably on Sunday, somewhere around there. So, with that said, I'm going to let you guys go for the evening. Thank you to Philip for joining me in the chat. And thank you if you made it this far in the video. If you're still on the fence about subscribing, take a look at the video that pops up at the very end here. YouTube takes the algorithms of all the stuff you've been watching and tries to match it as best as possible to one of the videos I've asked for your library. There we go. Rewind that. They basically put all the videos, they look at the algorithms of all the stuff you've been watching and put one of the videos from my vast video library, match it as best as possible, and pop it up there just for you. And then if you like that, hit that subscribe button down below there. And if you can, hit that like button, the share button as well. And if you want to know when I'm going to be on live again next, don't hit that bell down below. Go to suspendedfanimation.com. Take a look at the schedule I have up there. I change it out every week. Also, I have all the links to my social media there and all the links to my pages as well. I lie. You can hit that bell down below there. It works sometimes. I don't know if it does, any more recently, but sometimes it does. Sometimes it doesn't. So, thank you. I will let you guys go for the night. Like I said, I still don't know where this episode is, or this series is going. It needs to tighten up some shit. It really does. Unless it's going to do this unreliable narrator bullshit and then just slap us with something silly at the end, like Raised by Wolves did. Giant snake coming out of the android's body and killing everybody. So yeah. Anyway, thanks everyone. I will see you again tomorrow for the double header. Until then, don't let the door hit your ass on the way out. Otherwise, you may find out that the series that you're watching is just bouncing back and forth through a time frame of about 20, 30 years, somewhere around there, and actually about 40 years. And it's honestly, I don't know if it's worth it. Thanks, everybody. I will see you again tomorrow. Until then, stay safe, be well, take care, wear those masks, get those vaccine shots, get those booster shots as well, because they count, and get those flu shots as well. Thanks, everybody. I will see you again tomorrow. Have a good night, and finish wrapping up those gifts, because they're not going to wrap themselves. Thanks, everybody. Have a good night.